Hi, I'm Pat Gray, and I'm a reverse mortgage specialist. I have been very surprised during my career in reverse mortgages with the number of reasons that people have for doing reverse mortgages. Some I would never have anticipated, and it makes life a whole lot more interesting, I will say. Probably one of the most interesting stories I have is a couple who wanted to get divorced, unfortunately. And they really couldn't afford to have one couple move out. So they were still living together. I mean, one person move out. So they were still living together in the home and going through a divorce proceeding. So what we did was have one spouse relinquish his ownership in the home over to the other spouse. And we did the reverse mortgage for the spouse who now had 100% ownership of the home. That spouse got to stay in the home for the remainder of her life, and the other spouse got to take the cash proceeds from the reverse mortgage and go purchase the house, again with a reverse mortgage, and enabled that person to buy a nice priced home with part of the cash that he got out of the divorce and still had a lot of cash left over to use in any way that he saw fit. So that was a very unusual case. I had a motorcycle riding airline pilot grandmother come in and do a reverse mortgage with me, rode up to my office on her motorcycle, hair flying in the breeze, and came in and I helped her do a reverse mortgage so that she could travel more. She was definitely not your stay-at-home kind of person, wanted to be able to go out and see more of the world and enjoy herself, and the reverse mortgage enabled her to do that. In fact, she actually sent me a note and said, "Pat Gray is the patron saint of my good life." And I think that that's wonderful. That makes me feel very, very happy. Another couple I helped retain their home. They were on the verge of losing it. When we closed that loan, they were 3 days away from that house being sold through foreclosure proceeding on the courthouse steps. And I can tell you that was a very happy day for them and for me. A couple came to me who was moving into the area and wanted to purchase a home in the area and asked about doing a reverse mortgage purchase. Well, with a purchase, you get to borrow either the lesser of the purchase price or the appraised value. So if the home appraised for more than they were going to buy it for, they would only have been able to borrow against the purchase price. So what we did and what they did was do a lease purchase in which they leased the house for a year and at the end of the year refinanced with a reverse mortgage, so that then the reverse mortgage would work on the appraised value as opposed to the purchase price. So they wound up netting more than $20,000 in additional cash because of that. I had another individual who I worked with and enjoyed working with, who definitely was a well-off individual, had lots of cash in the bank, had several different homes, but had a mortgage on his primary residence and wanted to eliminate that mortgage. Told me that he planned on selling the home in about 10 years or so, and was worried though about the low values that we have in our housing market these days. As it turned out, it was really a very good tool for him because he was able to eliminate the mortgage that he had, no more payments, and because the value came in lower than the house really might be worth, he was able to preserve all that additional equity for the future, so that when he does sell the house in the future, his mortgage balance will be lower and he will then pick up all that additional equity. So that turned out to be a good thing because he wasn't really in need of additional cash, he just wanted to extinguish that mortgage. So that's a tale that I like to tell because it puts in perspective how using a reverse mortgage as a financial tool can be very advantageous to a lot of people. The only way for you to make an informed decision about a reverse mortgage is to have all the facts. 706-897-2822.